Whether you're visiting Anaheim to go to Disneyland or you just need a staycation, because let's be real, we all need one once in a while, we got just the place for you. It's Jay and Kaleo from the Torres Ohana, and we're back with another Worldmark tour, this time at Dolphin's Cove in Anaheim. And if you like videos like this and would like to help us out, don't forget to like and subscribe. So let's go ahead and start with the room. For this vacation, we booked a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and honestly, we were really surprised about how big the room was. As you walk in, there's a huge dining table, but I just thought it was a little weird that there wasn't like chairs on the opposite end, but the dining bench was pretty cool. And then of course you have your standard living room and of course your little kitchen, and as usual, fully loaded with everything you would need. And here we are with our first bedroom, which comes with 2 twin-size beds and a small closet, perfect for the kiddos, or in our case, our sister. Sorry, sister. And here is the main bedroom that features a king-size bed, which was, of course, comfy as usual. But I also love the little closet here. Little, not little, but much big, yes. And if you guys did notice as I was doing the walk around, the AC units are split units, so that is a pro or con depending on your preference. As I mentioned, we were actually really surprised about how big the place was. It definitely had an echo if you talked in the living room. However, here is the view from the middle of the living room. But it was definitely very spacious, especially since it was just 3 of us that were staying there. This location definitely had more of a homier vibe compared to the more like hotel style, but I also wanted to mention that there was a sleeper couch in the living room, so it could have slept 2 additional people. Lastly, let's show you guys the balcony area. We actually got a unit that overlooked the pool, so I would recommend that if you don't like pool noise, make sure to not request a room like this. However, it didn't really bother us. And though this is one of the older properties of Worldmark, I will say that we still really enjoyed the place. It was still pretty updated to us, and we really liked the homey vibe.
How's it, everybody? It's Kaleo here to talk about the amenities. Alright, let's get right into it. So when you first check in, there are designated 15-minute parking spots. You park there, check in, and then you get your room key. Once you have your room key, you drive into a gated parking area where you can park for free. The cool thing about this resort is that you can check out and then you can still park there and go to Disneyland. They even offer to keep some of your bags behind the counter if you don't want to leave them in your car. They also have a nice big pool area that also has 2 jacuzzis. This area is actually really big and clean. It felt so nice to dip our feet in the jacuzzi after walking 14 miles in a day. It was also nice since our room was right above the jacuzzi. Yep, there's our room. Another unspoken thing about these timeshares is that everyone you come across is nice. Here I am after a long day soaking my feet and talking to some random guy. Man, I look beat. Anyway, this pool area also had a ping pong table with all the equipment outside already, which is really nice. There's also a lot of space to lounge and chill. Inside the center, there's the gym. It's not much, but has everything you need to get a good workout in. Also, it was never busy. Now, just outside the gym, they had their family room, where they have a couple of board games for the kids. And also attached to this is where they played bingo. If you look good, you can see the families behind me playing bingo. You can also go to the front desk and check out some of their board games that they have. Now, for the upstairs of the rec center, they had a pretty low-key community center upstairs, which features some tables to hang out at on top of the balcony. And as you walk inside, you see like a family movie theater on the left. And you'll see a pool table on your right and some claw machines for you guys to play at. Just go see the front desk for some movies and you're good to go. And you could also watch DVDs in your room since your room does come with a DVD player. Here's that pool table I was talking about earlier along with the claw machines. I don't believe that they were free. I believe you have to pay for them. There's also a nice little fireplace where you can chill at when it gets cold at night. They also had a bathroom up there, so you could use the bathroom if you needed to, instead of having to go all the way back to your room. All in all, that room was huge and there was no one up there, which is really nice. Next, we're going to talk about the grills. Near the pool area / rec center, there were only 2 grills, but they were random grills kind of just spread out amongst the property. It was really nice. So if you wanted to grill in peace, you could. There was also this random refill station. That was cool. That was definitely a lifesaver when we went to Disneyland. Another cool thing about the grills is that they had the spatula and the utensils already in the grill, so you didn't have to bug nobody. Overall, this property was very clean, very well maintained, and there's also random spots where you and your family could hang out. I can imagine during the summertime this resort being really busy, so there was always room for us to spread out. One thing I loved about this property was that there was always something to look at. There was always something aesthetically pleasing to look at. Take this little area for example. It's so nice, so unassuming, and look at me testing the weight limit on this dolphin, all while trying to show you how swollen my feet is. Now that you look, that'll be $10. Anyway, that's my cute wife testing the other dolphin. And that is us. This is we. Order comeinthecorner.com. Yeah, so one thing you regularly see when you stay at a Wyndham resort is that they always have something going on. They call them resort experiences. As you can see, Dolphins Cove had a packed schedule for the time we were there. If you guys need to pause the video to read them, go ahead. It's like that at any Worldmark resort. Another thing that was kind of unique to Dolphins Cove was that they had a putting course. I believe you go to the front desk to check out the putters and the balls, but we didn't have time to play. But here is a little glimpse of what it looks like. Lucky number 7, baby. This resort also features guest laundry. So instead of having it in your room, they put a laundry basket in your room and you go down and you essentially do your laundry there. It is completely free, and when we were there were people actually doing laundry. And along with the basket, you do get the laundry detergent that goes with it. So no worries there. This resort also has a mini convenience store that is 100% self-checkout and self-serve. They do have a nice little variety of stuff that you can pick up without leaving. They also offer free coffee for what seems like 24/7, and that is also self-serve. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier about everyone being so polite and nice. This Polynesian girl, her and I started talking because we're both Polynesian. So I do have a little bit of a bone to pick, which is regardless if you are a VIP status, they require you to go to the presentation in order for you to enjoy the happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. Which to me seems kind of silly, but it is what it is. That is their policy. So that being said, that's the amenities. Bye!
Okay, so obviously everybody that was staying at this location was clearly going to Disneyland, just like us. So I figured that we would definitely add some Disney tips in here just so that you guys can plan your vacation accordingly. So before you ask, unfortunately, no, Dolphins Cove does not have a shuttle that goes straight to Disneyland. However, they are only about a 10-minute walk from the Toy Story parking lot. So to get from the Toy Story parking lot from Dolphins Cove, you'll actually head out of the property straight to your right towards the Denny's. So this is the Denny's. It's super close. And straight from there, it's a straight shot. So of course it depends on how fast you walk, because 10 minutes could be clearly 15 to 20 minutes. However, it definitely took us only about 8 to 10 minutes to walk there. However, fair warning, okay, if you're like us and you stayed at the park for quite a long time and you just did 14 miles at the park, well, walking back to the hotel might be kind of a task. So that's just a heads up. But I also wanted to let you guys know, if you didn't know already, that it is free to use these shuttles to go to Disneyland. You do not need to park here. There is also a security check, so as soon as they drop you off at Disneyland, you actually go straight through the gate. So it's actually really quick and it is very efficient, especially if you don't want to pay for parking. The shuttle service also runs 30 minutes after the park closes, so that is also another thing to keep in mind, especially if you're trying to make sure you get back in time. And again, you're going to want to follow the signs for the Toy Story lot if you're trying to get back. So as you can see, the Worldmark Anaheim location actually overlooks the Toy Story parking lot. And though yes, it's arguably closer than Dolphins Cove, I will say that if you were to walk to this parking lot, you would have to like walk around the whole entire perimeter rather than just kind of like whip in the corner. Now, given the last time we were at Worldmark Anaheim, we didn't realize that we could actually just take the shuttle, so we actually just walked all the way to Disney, but that was only still like about an 18 to 20 minute walk, so it really wasn't bad either. And you know us, you know we love to save money, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. This is completely unrelated to like Worldmark, but Disney actually allows you to bring in food now. So as long as it's in a container that isn't like glass, from what I understand, you can actually bring in your own food. So I'm just saying, we brought some spa musubis, and yeah, we saved a little bit of money because we just kind of had that. So I just want to throw that out there. Anyways, friends, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We make foodie content along with timeshare travel, specifically Worldmark timeshares. And don't forget to let us know in the comments down below if you've stayed in Dolphins Cove or if you plan to stay in Dolphins Cove for your next trip to Anaheim. See you guys in our next video. Aloha!